DaoDe Jing, Chapter 5. Heaven and earth are not compassionate. The myriad beings are as straw dogs. Sages are not compassionate. People are as straw dogs. Heaven and earth are like a bellows. Empty, it is never exhausted. Moving, it always produces more. Talking too much leads to exhaustion. It's better to guard the center. What does this mean? Heaven and earth, yang and yin, these are simply patterns. They don't have or not have virtues or care for beings. They're patterns that simply unfold. So the myriad beings, the 10,000 things, are as straw dogs. A straw dog, an effigy in this case, refers to a kind of ritual object prepared for and used to give meaning to a particular day and ceremony, and then are tossed aside. We, as these gatherings of pattern that we relate to as a self, we are as straw dogs from the perspective of the boundless, from the perspective of the ultimate, the singular. These are temporary gatherings that appear to have a coherent, distinct presence and meaning. And then our bodies, like these effigies, are discarded like straw dogs. The sages are connected to this unity, this ultimate understanding, and they share the perspective of heaven and earth, selfless pattern. And in this context, the people are as straw dogs. We are all just pattern. Furthermore, heaven and earth are like a bellows. Some translations have flute and drum. These instruments, this tool like a bellow, share emptiness as its ultimate essence that gives its purpose, that makes it a tool. So heaven and earth have this emptiness, and they interact and they move together, making pattern progress. And as such, they're like a bellows. They're like this breath of being, coming together, coming apart. So this emptiness, it is never exhausted. How can emptiness be exhausted? And when it moves, it doesn't get worn out, it simply produces more. So the patterns of heaven and earth, time and space, they're perpetually changing, perpetually leading to the next pattern. This movement is simply growth and expansion and cycling in a kind of spiraling, progressive manner. Empty, it is never exhausted. Moving, it produces more. And in this way, it is like a bellows. Whereas we, these little humans, future straw dogs, in this body, if we exceed our capacity, if we exceed our energetic allotment, we're exhausted. So talking too much, it's speech, but it's also action. Talking too much leads to exhaustion. It is better to guard the center. This is a technical term. It's abiding in emptiness, observing emptiness. The center without location. We look for it inside, but really it is beyond time and space. So instead of talking too much and exhausting ourselves, we guard the center. We abide in heaven and earth, in the unity, in the singularity, in the ultimate reality. And thus, like sages, like heaven and earth, we are a bellows that is never exhausted. We are simply the breath of pattern that perpetually produces more, always in alignment and at the right time. It is better to guard the center. DaoDe Jing, Chapter 5.